Hey guys, it's going to Scary here with another Exos Heroes video. And in today's video, I want to talk about awakening stones and my strategy on how I go about actually choosing the types of elements I'm choosing for my stones. And I'm just going to kind of break it down. This is going to be mainly for PvP. I think that's where it's really important, and just kind of go over my thought process when it comes to choosing the best option. So not saying that this is 1000% the best way. This is how I do it. If other people have other suggestions, be sure to leave them down in the comments below, but I think this is a pretty good method on making sure you're not getting broken. Okay, so there's a couple things we need to think about here when it comes to these stones. And the first thing is going to be the set bonuses, and then the second thing is going to be making sure we don't get broken. So, okay, so let's look at the awakening bonuses. I think it's best on a character that's not awakened yet. Okay, so we got to consider the effects here for actually making a character awakened and which one's the best one to choose here. Then we're going to get these same bonuses again with our rank 1 gear. So this one, there's really not too many changes here. The ones you can argue. The catch-all one that most people use is going to be a 6-piece fire set, and when you're awakening a character, this is going to be you're going to want to fully choose one of these sets, regardless of which way you go. You're going to want a 6-piece set. There's really no situations I can ever think of when it comes to awakening a character that you're not going to choose a full 6-piece, whether it be fire, frost, nature, whatever. And then the ones that are actually up for debate are going to be Fire, Frost, Nature, and Machine. Frost is really only for, I could think of 2 characters in Shufraken and Schmid, because their effects are based on having the most defense. So Frost would be something that you can use for them. And I can't really think of anyone else that is going to matter for. If anyone else has other Frost characters, say it down in the comments below. Okay. And then fire is for pretty much everyone. That one's really good. You can argue machine and nature for characters. Like I like machine for mages because of hit rating actually matters, and nature dodge rating on characters with already high dodge and a decent amount of HP. You could throw those on people like Rara, assassin style characters like Baraka, stuff like that. And I think that's totally fine. But if you just want to play it safe, the 6-piece fire set is really good as well. And that's pretty much it when it comes to awakening bonuses. Now we got to factor in, because we can actually adjust this when it comes to rank 1 gear. This is where some actual theory crafting goes in, is going to be actually on the gear here. Now let me go back here. So we get those same effect bonuses, but on actual gear that we can kind of change here. And the way I used to look at it, especially before Unleashed Potential, is I was trying to go for the most optimal, like best stat, and I was thinking like 6-piece fire, or maybe 6-piece green, or 6-piece machine. But as you get more and more HP or more stats, especially from Unleashed Potential, as you're going up in the game, look at the stat totals that we have on these characters here. Those bonuses really are not that big of a deal when it comes to, in the grand scheme of things. If you're going to go 6-piece fire, for example, get the extra 5,000 HP, the difference is really not that much. Then the other sets, what's really going to matter is making sure you don't get broken. That's why you're seeing here I have 4-piece fire and then 2 other random sides, and then you can min-max this as much as you want based on your matchups, based on what you're facing against. But I think this concept is going to be important going forward, because based on when you're watching this video, the meta could be completely different. Maybe the meta is full of characters like, oh, they have a ton of AoE that's going to break the fire, break the purple, and then break the water or the frost side super easily. What is he doing? But I think this concept is going to persist longer than the specifics of the meta. So what I'm doing personally is the concept I'm trying to convey is I'm trying to get the maximum amount of benefit from the gear. So here the max benefit I can get is a 4-piece fire set. Then what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to get as many weird stones that are not going to be broken that easily. And then the characters I'm facing a lot of Greenland at the moment. So getting broken is going to be really tough, because not many characters on the other team, unless they're running like Ramj or Iris hits my Rara, I'm not going to get hit with a void break. It's just not going to happen. And they don't have fire. So it's like I don't have to worry about it. I can min-max I can get all the stats. I can get that extra 2,000 HP and not have to worry about getting broken, at least on my Rara here. And that's kind of like the thought process I have when it comes to this. But let's say I'm facing a Raquel team, then fire is going to get broken pretty easily. And depending on who they use, maybe they have Tantalo, so the frost can get broken. And then I don't know if they have Iris or something like that, they can actually break my Rara, but the odds of that are really low. The matchup doesn't really play that way. So that's why I go this set. But let's say in a situation where it's just too risky to go full fire, I would be okay with picking a horrible set now, or just a set that doesn't make any sense when it comes to a sound perspective, just to make sure I don't get broken. And I think that is a way bigger priority. As you get more and more stats from other things, you're going to care less and less about min-maxing the set bonuses on the equipment. And I think that's a really important thing to keep in mind, because I used to think completely opposite of that. I would care way more about my stats. I was like, wow, look, this is a ton of stats to leave on the table. You really want to make sure. But at the moment now, with how the game is going, it really doesn't matter too much. And I really just wanted to highlight that when it comes to this, because and also it's kind of nice because this concept is it's really simple to present. There's really not much I need to say. It's just, I think this concept, it makes it really easy to figure out, and it's going to make it to where down the line, regardless of what meta we're in, if you're talking about characters that you're fully invested into, all you got to know is just try to get the most amount of stats you possibly can from the set bonuses, and then make sure you don't get broken. And once you know that, you just need to look at the opposing team comp, see what can break you, see how the matchup plays out. And in this case, it's pretty clear in the Greenland matchup that they're doing a lot of frost breaking and they're doing a lot of green breaking. So just avoid those two things and you're mostly going to be fine. There's and also in this meta too, there's a lot of Raquel teams. There's a lot of Northbound Frosty teams. So just know what they have and dodge those things, and then you'll be fine. And that's really all it comes down to. And that could potentially change in the future. Maybe Dork is going to become, with her fake core, she's going to be super meta. So machine is going to be off limits. You can't have a ton of machine, stuff like that. Ideally, from a stat perspective, you're probably going to want not many red characters out there so you can take advantage of the extra HP. I think this all changes when it comes to PvE perspective. I'm not sure on this, but I want to say the harder PvE stuff, they just break stones. They don't really, to be honest, I haven't really looked in too much. I wouldn't take that. But hopefully that answers your question. That's really all it comes down to. I don't want to just keep repeating myself here when it comes to this concept. I think it's actually pretty straightforward nowadays on how this works. I think just me kind of getting over the fact that there's stats tied to this, and oh, okay, red is just better stats, or machine is just better stats. Like, I've seen people just go all like a whole bunch of purple set, and I'm like, that's a garbage set, but it doesn't matter because they'll never have to worry about getting broken. And I think that's way more important, and it makes perfect sense in my opinion, especially when you look at the stats totals. When you start to really get up here, you just have too many stats. You just don't care. Like, what's the difference between 34,000 HP versus 31,000 HP? Like, oh man, he had that extra 3k HP. I would have beat him if, you know, I had that extra 2k or 3k HP. But, you know, so I think you guys get my point here. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have any more questions about this concept. And with that, guys, I am out. Peace.